they were both in the Sentinel program. They were both military men. I think the big difference is maybe less the people themselves and their surroundings. There are no governments anymore. There's no military anymore. It's the world's been taken over. The Chimera have won. At this point, I think their situations are very different. Capelli has a family now, and he and the community that he starts out in at the beginning of the game, they're just trying to survive. They're trying to survive by hiding, and rather than sort of mounting this massive offensive like they did in Resistance 1 and 2. It's a very different take, I think, on what the world is like now. We actually debated the health system a lot. We thought that we actually liked the Resistance 1 health mechanic a lot. I think that it differentiated us from other games. I think it fit well with our game and our play style. I think it kind of encourages players to be a little bit more aggressive, because you can't just duck into cover every few seconds and sort of reset the setup. And we actually debated going back to the Resistance 1 mechanic where you had the little slots and you could regenerate within the slot, but you had to pick up health kits to fill the slots back up. Ultimately, it was just a difficult system for players to understand. It was sort of split the more old school pick up a health kit and get some health back and the fully regenerative model, and we wanted to go more towards the first one, so we ended up just going with the clean. You take damage, you pick up health kits to get damage back. I think multiplayer games are more fun when they become a little bit personal. I know that when we're playing around the office, whenever I'm killed 2 or 3 times by a person, I start looking for that particular person to kill. I think some of the big games can get really fun, but I think that whenever you have a 60-player game, it wasn't often that you're actually getting 30 players versus 30 players. You're still ending up in fights of a few players against a few players, and I think it allowed us to create a more intimate experience. I think that our graphics, which look, I think, substantially better in the campaign. I think we've been able to up-res the multiplayer a lot. And one of the things we really tried to focus on throughout both single player and competitive is we've got all these exotic weapons, and we want to do crazy effects and do crazy things to enemies whenever you use these weapons on them and that kind of thing. And the more players you start getting in, you start having to scale all that back, and we wanted to keep that. So I think the game looks a lot better, and again, I think it just creates a more intimate experience. I think that everything from the controls to the way that the weapons look to the graphics, the effects, the environments, I think everything just has an entirely different level of polish to it. On top of that, I think it's that we felt a lot more comfortable kind of striking out on our own and saying this is what Resistance is. Resistance isn't regenerative health. Resistance is health kits, and if that's a little bit old school, that's okay. That works for our game. We've got we've always had exotic weapons in Resistance, in the Resistance franchise. I think some of the weapons we haven't revealed yet get pretty crazy. I think crazier than we've gotten before, and I think with the upgrade system, we're really pushing the weapons farther. And I think between bringing the weapon wheel back, really trying to create a lot of different enemies, and opening up the level design, it creates a lot more player choice within each combat system. I think that our setups are really not particularly heavily scoped, and what the enemies are going to do each time is very different, and I think it gives the players an opportunity to sort of pick their strategies and play the game that they want to play.
Now masters of war, you be allowed.